Good evening. Okay, that's it. Yeah, it's working. Wonderful. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to this live on Bridges of Light International. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Bridges of Light, and thank you, Life. How are you? Now let's wait a few more moments and then we'll start considering the subject of the day. Hey, hello Clemente, how are you? Today we are going to be talking about how to attract positivity into one's existence. Hello, Chiara. Hello, Chiara. My flies, where are they? I haven't seen any yet. Hopefully there's not as many as yesterday. No, I can't see that many today. Don't know why. Yeah, it's less than yesterday. Which is good, actually. Yeah. Okay. Positivity. Hello, Simonetta. Ciao. What is positivity? I guess when we talk about positivity, we mean things we like, right? Like good health, wealth, emotional serenity, happiness, joy, whatever else. The things we like in life. Okay, that's what I would define positivity. I think that the surest and most effective way of attracting positivity into our existence is to be, literally to embody what is that we would like to attract. And how do we do that? We do that by not doing things that they actually obstaculate positivity to come to us, and at the same time there's things that we can do to attract positivity. Okay, so in other words, first we're going to be talking about what is that we could get rid of, things that they are in between what we call positivity, meaning things that we like, that we would like to experience in our life, and them, okay? There's things in between. And then we will talk about what we can do to literally attract this positivity, which it will be easy anyway once we have eliminated the obstacles. Hello, Maria, welcome. Okay, I love this subject because I can very, very clearly see how before 2002, I was attracting into my life experience, into my existence, negative things. Literally, I was a magnet for negativity. What do I mean by that? I mean that very often I used to have car accidents, but often it wasn't me that was careless and, let's say, crashing into other people. Sometimes people were bumping into me. People were often enough to think, wow, am I so unlucky? People were getting into my car, smashing the windshield, for example, and getting the car stereo or whatever I'd left in the car. I used to meet people I would argue with. I used to get injured quite easily, even physically. So in other words, I really literally was attracting negative things. Nowadays, I really could say almost the opposite. There is a very, very, very noticeable difference. Nowadays, I do seem to attract nice things. In other words, I do meet people that I get along with. If I happened to lose my wallet or my phones, and really this has happened in the last 2 years about 3-4 times, that I left my phone, either on a train or on the tube in London. And you know what? I always found it. People would phone me up, or I would call my phone and they would say, oh, I found your phone, come and get it. Or people would find it at the police would contact me. Anyway, I was in Thailand, February last year, and from my pocket a note fell off, and it was quite a bit of money. I can't remember, but let's say probably around £50. And this lady ran after me, tapped me on the shoulder and say, hey, here's your money. I was like, thank you very much. Okay, of course we could, hello Silvia, hello Pamela. This could all be regarded as being coincidence. But really, I don't think so, because it's really clear that there is something that I used to do that I don't do anymore. And there's other things that I now do that I didn't used to do that may well be contributing in me now attracting positive things in my life. Hello, Evelyn. I wish I could drive. Great, I'm glad you're with us. Okay, now the first advice that I would give to anybody to start attracting positivity into their life is to stop complaining. What I mean by that, I mean, even just thinking about negative things, in other words, about things that we don't like, it's very, very anti-attracting positivity. It's manifesting negativity. So please, please remember, any and every time that you find yourself to think something negative, unless then right there and then you're actually doing something to change the situation. If you know that you are just complaining for the sake of complaining, or because you're used to, we are all very used to complain anyway. And by the way, whatever the advice I'm gonna give you now, I have to say first that it's easier said than done. I know it's easier said than done, but it's very possible. But you need to discipline yourself. So when you find yourself to complain about something, even just in your thought, please, please do it for all of humanity and for yourself. Stop right there and then and direct your attention somewhere else. Play a piece of music that you like, think and force yourself to think about something you like, but distract yourself. Even more, if you find yourself verbalizing and talking and complaining to someone else, even then, when you catch yourself doing that, that's okay, it happens. But if as soon as you remember, please, you know what you do? You stop. You stop and you change the subject of your conversation. You direct your conversation somewhere else. If you are with people that like to complain, I call them professional complainers. There's plenty around. Well, if you can avoid them, it would be great. If you cannot, you know what you can do? You could actually consider that experience as an opportunity for you to see at how skillful you are in becoming a leader, that it's not only able to shift the focus of your attention from something negative to something positive, but you can see if you can actually persuade the other person or the other people to talk about something of a positive kind. Do I make any sense? Because you can do it. Because I'll tell you something. A conscious person, it's much more energetically powerful than a unconscious person. In other words, when we are conscious, meaning when we know what's going on, when we have a high degree of presence and awareness, we vibrate at a quite high frequency. Okay, it's not something we can see, but we can feel. You can feel it, right? When you even just now imagine something positive. Remember something that you liked. Bring into your head a positive memory, or think about something that you know you like, right? Maybe you can even find yourself smiling and you feel light, right? You feel a kind of positive emotion. Okay. When, and the other side of the coin, you don't have to do it, but you know, if you're gonna remembering or thinking, if you're thinking of something negative, you feel heavy, right? You don't feel as light, you don't feel, you can tell, I guess, that you are vibrating at a different frequency. So, when we are vibrating at a higher frequency, we are much more powerful, meaning it's likely that we are able, if we want to lift other people up, people where we are. Although, of course, if we are unconscious of what we want to do, and in this context would be to lift somebody else up. If we are not conscious, of course, they could drag us down. Yes, we could go down with them. But that is where awareness comes into place. That's when remembering that from now on, and I invite you to do that until it really becomes habitual to you, from now on, we want to be as positive as possible, okay? Having said that, I don't mean that we have to become bliss bunnies, meaning everything is falling astray, everything is really tragically not going in a positive way, and we think, oh, everything is wonderful, everything is hunky-dory. No, I don't mean that. I mean acknowledging and recognizing how things are, okay? Let's say, for example, nowadays on the planet, things are truly happening, but we can choose to not catastrophize, okay? Not to dramatize, not to focus on the negative sides of whatever could be happening. We could actually be present to it. We know that, hey, I would like things to be different. And because I would like things to be different, I may be asking myself, what could I actually learn from this? Could there anything come of a positive kind during what is happening or afterwards? You see, if we can change our attitude, we may not be actually happy about it, but using our positivity, meaning looking for the positive side in the situation, which, believe me, there's always, in any situation, there's at least two sides, but even more, you know, but you can also always look for what could come of positive in any situation. So if we do that, okay, but with presence and with a critic eye, okay, not like a bliss bunny would do. And a bliss bunny, by a bliss bunny, I mean somebody that would go, oh, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it all fantastic? When maybe it's not. Because maybe if we tapped into how we feel regarding something that is happening, we wouldn't feel happy. We would actually maybe feel sad or angry. Well, if that's the case, it is to be positive. It means be positive. Literally means saying yes. Be positive to what? To what is happening. Meaning, if I feel sad, yes, I feel sad, and I allow myself to feel sad. If I feel frustrated, I don't deny it. I say, yes, I feel frustrated. Do I make sense? And then afterwards, we can then work on what we normally do that could have played a part in us reacting emotionally in a negative way to what has happened. For example, somebody says something to us and I react with anger and with frustration, okay? Well, when I'm feeling angry and frustrated, it's healthy, it's normal, it's natural, and it is actually positive to say yes, okay, to acknowledge that, okay, I'm actually frustrated, I'm actually angry. That's fine. It's, don't try to spiritualize that and deny. Just allow yourself to feel it, okay? Then afterwards, if you really want to then, from that point on, to attract something of a more positive kind in your life, ask yourself, what is the reason, what is the intimate reason that made me react to whatever happened in that emotional way which I didn't like? And I can most likely assure you that it wasn't the situation, it wasn't only the situation. It wasn't only the situation that made you feel angry and frustrated, but it was also, and maybe most of it, due to your interpretation to what happened, your negative judgment or resistance regarding what happened, okay? And if you work on that, if you then work on your maybe negative or resisting attitude towards that person, that situation, or whatever it was that triggered your emotional reaction, I don't know, but maybe next time, if a similar situation is presented to you, you may be able to perceive it not as being negative. Does it make sense? So you may even respond in a more positive way, and it won't look negative to you. As a matter of fact, you may even regard it as being positive. Do I make any sense? And that is mastery in action. You see, a positive person or a person that attracts positivity, it's not necessarily a person that attracts and manifests different situations or people from the one that other ones that maybe have a negative mindset attract and manifest. But it's simply somebody that has shifted his or her attitude towards what before was resisting or judging negatively. When we do that, okay, and that's easier said than done, I know, but when we are able to do that, when what was considered negative before becomes either neutral, meaning we are unfazed by it, it doesn't upset us anymore emotionally, or maybe if we can, we even see it as a gift. And this is the master, the master says, okay, give me the next challenge, I'm ready for it. Like this, with open arms. Send me a challenge. Let's see how well I can face up to it, so to speak. Okay. So when we can do that, meaning see a positive when before we were seeing a negative, there we have it. Then when we are truly evolving at a higher rate, and then again, who knows? But maybe then, yes, maybe we will actually be resonating and attracting things of a much more positive nature that we could even dream of attracting before into our life. I'm not sure if I was clear enough. And also I'm not sure because nobody's really actually writing anything. I know, Evelyn, you're driving, so I'm not expecting you to write, but if anybody has got any comments, any questions, anything to share, I would love it because it will become alive. Otherwise, I keep on telling you my opinion, which is fine. But I like to know what you think about this. I like to know what is your take, you see? But You know, this positive business, though, something that I like us to consider is that there is a time and a place to actually work on ourselves about being positive. In other words, if I say to somebody that is during a traumatic phase of their life, meaning if someone has just lost a job or lost someone that loved, or something traumatic happened, and he or she is in a phase when emotionally is feeling distressed, angry, or sad, the most appropriate thing would be for her or him to actually allow himself or herself, like we were saying before, to truly feel what he or she is feeling, to truly open the door to let the emotion in, and then also, open the back door to allow the emotion to go through, but stay with the emotion, stay with it, let it take over you, okay? And do not, I repeat, do not even think of working on your mindset or anything like that, okay? Just allow yourself to feel whatever you have to feel. It's organic and it's part of the healing process. Then, and only then, and only when the emotional charge is gone, and you will feel it. It means like when you have allowed yourself to cry, to express your anger or whatever it is, and then when you feel peaceful again, then yes, then it's when what we do, we literally we roll up our sleeves and we start working on ourselves, okay? And then, like I said before, but I'll say it again because you know what? Repetition is the key of learning and interiorizing anything. And then we work on our mindset. Our mindset is the filter through which all the outside experiences get in ourselves and they get, so to speak, interpreted. Me personally, before 2002, I had a very negative mindset. And that's why, like I said, I was attracting and manifesting negative things in my life. Now, all I did literally is change my mindset, okay? Because you see, we talk sometimes about positive people or negative people. I don't think there's such a thing. Nobody is negative and nobody is positive. There's people that they have more of a negative mindset, and some people they have more of a positive mindset, okay? And all it takes is to, when we are at a state of peace, we see at what we regard as being negative and being positive and why. And then we see if our regarding something negative, it's actually something truthful or is like a prejudice or a judgment that we have acquired growing up. And if that's the case, we put the judgment or the prejudgment aside, and whenever we face the same people of the same situation, we try and be more present, more open, and we may actually experience the situation of the person in a different way. So the judgment or the prejudgment may actually change. And then we can actually build a positive mindset towards that person, that situation, or anything and everything else, okay? This is one way of doing. Then the other way is the way of the mystic, the holistic way, which is of the person that is actually neutral. It's transcending negativity or positivity, that is very aware of being a spiritual being having a human experience, and is just so present and so able to abstain from getting into the trap of, oh, this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad, and everything just is. And we love it because it is. But I have spoken too much on my own. I see that Chiara wrote something and I want to see what Clara asked. So, I'm curious and I want to connect with you. Chiara says, Luca, we can be positive and we can attract beautiful things, but at the same time we can be, at the same time can we be afraid of not deserving it? Oh, yes, Chiara, absolutely we can. Yeah, that's a great question you ask. Yes, we can be positive, yes, and we can attract beautiful things, yes, but we can absolutely at the same time be afraid of not deserving it, yes. Yes, although if we are really afraid of not deserving it, if there's so much resistance or there's an issue about us deserving something, it's difficult that we manifest it or attract it. Does it make sense? It's more of a question of us wanting it. We would like it. And sometimes if that's the case, these beautiful things, these positive things, they come into our life, but they don't stay long. Because when they start coming in, like maybe something we really liked, then if our undeserving belief, our being afraid of not being up to it, not deserving it, comes up, then the beautiful thing or the positive thing, it's almost like it slips away. Does it make sense? It's like, it's almost there, it's there, and then it goes. And the reason why it's almost here, the beautiful thing you want, and then it goes, it could be, yes, like you wrote, because of a deserving issue. Because somewhere in between, inside of us, there's a belief that we don't deserve it. That for us is too much. So of course, because life, the universe, has only one word for us, says yes. Literally, imagine the universe or life being like a photocopy machine. It always shows to you on the photocopy exactly what you believe life to be. So if you, for example, before 2002, I believed that life was full of untrustworthy people I could not trust, okay? And life wasn't a safe place. And life, the photocopy machine was telling me yes. Universe always say yes to us, was saying yes, you believe that, and yes, this would be your experience. And my life experience, in fact, was confirming my belief about it. Nowadays, I believe, and I know, I'm aware that everyone in life is a friend. Even people that they may be thinking that they are an enemy of mine, but they're not I'm not an enemy of them or his or her competitors. I know that they're friends, okay? And I know that everything in life is at my side. So life itself, it's at my side. Life, before I used to believe that life was happening to me, okay? Now I believe and I know that life is happening for me and through me, okay? Now I am aware of the fact that I am life. I am the life and the way, literally. And this consciousness is reflected by my life circumstances, because the big universal photocopy machine now says, yes, life is your friend. Yes, life is flowing through you and for you. Does it make sense? So, Chiara, well, I don't know if your question was regarding something personal to you, but if it is, ask yourself, Do I believe to be deserving of whatever? And if the answer is no, well, that could be an obstacle that will hinder that thing, will not allow that thing to easily flow into your life. Okay? But the good news is that once we become aware of something, like once we become aware of maybe us believing that we are not deserving, we are already halfway through solving the problem. In other words, the first step in overcoming a challenge or a problem is in the acknowledgement that we have a problem or a challenge to overcome. And this is very, 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 very fundamental. You know why? Because if we don't know, we don't recognize that we have a problem, and again, that was me before 2002, we will never, ever be able to solve it, right? It's like the alcoholic or the drug addict, it was me, when everybody else knows that they have an alcohol problem or the drug problem, and everybody else is telling them, listen, you have to get over it. You have to get rid of your addiction. And the person that drinks or takes drugs, me, would have said, I don't have a problem. I'm absolutely fine. I don't have a problem. You see, but until we don't realize that, yes, we do have a problem, the problem has us. In this context, in what we are talking about, it's very, very important to realize that for somebody to be able to attract positivity into his or her life, he or she has to admit and acknowledge and recognize that he or she has, maybe just in some area of their life, maybe not in all areas of their life, but has a negative mentality. Because if she or he doesn't recognize that, there's nothing they can do. But when I realize, oh, I have actually a negative mentality, then I can change it. Then I start notice what is that I judge negatively. Then I notice what is that I persist and resist. And then I can work on my mentality. I hope it makes sense. But you know, something that I would like to share with you, because it's something practical that you could put into action, is the 10 points of the well-being formula that I created. And if you actually work on each point, and if you integrate them into your life, you may well habitually acquire a positive mindset. Okay, I'm gonna go through the 10 steps, the 10 points now verbally with you, but then afterwards I would put the 10 steps, and I put the picture of the well-being formula. Okay. Step number 1, point number 1. Acknowledge and declare now to yourself and to life that the most important thing for you is your emotional serenity and your physical well-being. Okay? Like I said before, if you know that you want to get somewhere, you have to decide where you want to go. So your mind now, if you declare that the most important thing for you is your emotional, physical and emotional well-being and your emotional serenity, your mind, your subconscious mind, is already working like the search engine of Google to get you there, okay? Point number 2. Train yourself to be as present as possible, focusing mainly on what you perceive with your physical senses, okay? This is to enhance your state of presence, okay? So always do it now. Focus yourself as much as you can on what you perceive with your eyes, with your ears, with your skin. Pay attention to your clothing on your skin. Have you got any taste in your mouth? Can you smell anything? Then pay attention to how your body feels. Feel your hands. Can you feel your hands? Can you feel them vibrating? Then feel your arms, your chest, your legs. See if you can feel your whole body, if you can sense your whole body, and also pay attention to what you perceive with your body, okay? So you develop present. Point number 3. Listen and look to others and life as if it was the first and the last time you are doing it. Again, this awareness may allow you to be more present, because we tend, by default, we tend to take everything and everybody for granted, especially if it's family members. Think about it. We haven't even met them yet, and we already think, oh, I know what they're saying, and blah, 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 blah. But let's keep in mind that that is the first time we see them now, because this is a unique time we see them, and it could be the last one, because it's the first and the last time. And who knows, it could be the last time, because something may happen to us or to them. So let's make it a special moment. Then point number 4, do everything intentionally, without expectations, just for the pleasure of doing it. Like children. If we were able to do anything just for the pleasure of doing it, not because we expect anything in return, not because we have an alter motives, then we have it. We would always be joyful, wouldn't we? But yes, have an intention, but without being attached to the outcome. Point number 5. Learn how to discern and stop judging. What do I mean by that? I mean, we are so used to, when we are encountering a new situation or a different people or person, of thinking, we are used to think, oh, is this good or bad, right or wrong? Can you see this is all in the mind? And then according to this, we don't even check in to see how we truly feel about the situation or the person. And this is judging. And we are so much used to do this that we have forgotten to discern. And by discerning, I mean the faculty that our essence, our being, our soul thrive for. Because our essence wants to express its authenticity. But it can only express its authenticity if it knows itself. But we don't know ourselves, because we've been trained to follow what is good, what is right, and to stay away from what is considered to be wrong, to be bad. But sometimes what is right or wrong, good or bad for someone else, may actually be appropriate for us. So my invite is, instead of just asking yourself, is it right or wrong, good or bad, ask yourself, do I like this? Yes or not? How do I feel about this? Try it now regarding something you're wondering if and when and what. How do I feel about this? Do I like it or not? Can you feel it? It's more in you're more in your body when you ask yourself that question. Because it's an organic question. You are in your senses. For heaven's sake, it's not difficult to live harmoniously. Very often, life doesn't make sense because we don't feel and listen and honor our senses. I repeat it. And we even said ourselves, me before 2002, I would have, if you asked me, I would have told you, life doesn't make sense. My life doesn't make sense. Of course my life wasn't making sense, because I was very judgmental. I was very much in my mind. I wasn't in my heart. I wasn't in my senses. Now it's a different story. Now my life makes sense. Why? Because the first, and sometimes even the only question that I ask myself is, how do I feel about this? Do I like this or not? And then your body will tell you. You ask the question and you just feel. Then you get used to feeling. Then your body becomes your barometer. The body is a wonderful instrument. It has a complete direct link to your essence, to your soul. That's how our soul communicates with us, through our body, not through our mind. Our mind has been conditioned, has been trained. Our soul is not trained. We don't need to train our essence. Okay, so I hope I was clear enough. But I don't know, nobody writes anything. I don't know if it's because you're not writing or because I don't see the comments. But anyway, I keep on listing the 10 points of the well-being formula. So step number 5, stop judging, learn how to discern. Point number 6, be the source of what you would like to receive from others. I repeat, be the source of what you would like to receive from others. This is a universal truth. And this is actually very in line with what we're talking about. How do we attract positivity in our life? Simply by being it. Whatever you want, if you can generate it, become the generator of it, there you have it. You will get it back. But even if you weren't getting it back, you know that you don't need it because you can generate it. Am I clear? And this is what we are here for. We are creators of our life. We are divine being expressing ourselves. And by divine, I mean we have the creative energy in us. So let's use it. And you know, that's the single message that all of the masters have said. Jesus Christ, Buddha, all the other big motivators alive, Tony Robbins, you name it. Evelyn, you're here, you know. We are the creators of our life. Now, let's make something clear. You are not talking to somebody. I am not one that says, whatever you want, you create it just because you want it. You want it, you get it. No, I am not saying that. Because I truly believe from experience that certain things, we do want them. We think about them. We feel as if we have them and we manifest them. And other ones, no. Why? I don't know. But I think everything is so complex that it's very deterministic and very simplistic to say, you want it, you get it. No. But one thing I know we can do and we can always manifest, it's our positivity. We can always, and that we always have the power to choose how we respond to a life situation. Does it make sense? And I want to underline that because rightly so, some of us are fortunate in life, have been fortunate enough to have maybe to have a quite an easy life in the sense that nothing happened in the family, nobody died young, there's no illness, no financial tragedy, okay? But people that they go through all this, and if I come and tell them you create your life just like this, they are probably gonna want to throw their shoes on my head. And so it should be actually, because they didn't actually create it that consciously. Do I make any sense? So anyway, but what we can do is to work on our attitude towards this. For example, me, I lost my mom when I was 25 years old. She was 47, you know? And yeah, for 6 years, I was actually victimizing myself. I was very negative about it. And then I decided, well, I don't know if you know my story, but it doesn't matter. Something happened and I literally, intentionally choose to, instead of continuing to have a negative mindset, I wanted to create a positive mindset. And I did. And now I even regard whatever has happened like as a blessing in disguise. You know what I mean? I know even Evelyn, you lost your mom very young and you are not victimizing yourself. This is what I mean by creating your life. I'm talking very much about our inner life, not our outer life. Okay. But having said that, if we are positive, if our mindset is positive, we are more likely, though, to also attract and manifest positive things in the outside world. So, that was point number 6, be the source of what you like to experience. So yes, if you want positive people, be positive. If you don't want to be judged, don't judge. If you want prosperity, you know what you have to do. Do something that makes you experience to be prosperous. In other words, if you want more money, give money to somebody that has less than you, or even somebody who has more, but give something out. Be generous. Give even just like £10 to somebody from your heart, because then you embody abundance. And you say to the universe, I am abundant. And then focus on what you can be grateful for and realize, and we really are nowadays where we are. Come on, if we are here in front of a computer or a telephone, we have lots of money, more than we need. So let's focus on it. And when we generate this abundance feeling, then we become the source of abundance. And then, who knows, but it's more likely that the universe will give us more. Anyway, and also think about the universe like being like a parent. You would like to give to who appreciates what you give to, right? If somebody, would you like to give things to somebody that doesn't appreciate it, doesn't even look at what you give it to them? No, you like to give to who say, oh, thank you so much, I'm so happy. And it's the same thing with universe and us. And that was number 6. Number 7 is ask yourself questions without thinking you must know the answer. You will find it. I repeat, ask yourself questions without thinking you have to know the answers. You will find them, right? So if you have a pressing question, a question in your heart, or something that you would like to achieve or whatever, ask the question as if there was, and believe me, there is, as if there was an energy, an entity, or maybe there's even more than one around you that loves you and they will provide you with information. So don't think that you have to know the answer. So ask yourself any question, because the true answer will not come from us. It's not going to come from this rational mind, the programmed, conditioned mind. No, forget it. Ask the question and then be on the lookout, though, for receiving the answer from life itself. Life talks to us anytime, always. You know, I am talking to an extension of myself. We are one with everything. We are in like an energetic soup. We are connected to everything. So if you ask a question, there is another intelligence or somebody else that will give you the answer. It's magic. I do it all the time and it really works. And you might get the answer from, and I'm sure it's happened to you anyway, if you think about it. You will find the answer maybe in the sentence of a song you hear. It's almost as if those words, they stand out. Or maybe in an article of a magazine, something is written and again it stands out. Or you meet someone, maybe you see a Facebook Live of somebody that says something and gives you information, or in a book. Do you know what I mean? But you will get what you ask for. This is what I mean. And don't think that you have to know the answer. Okay, that was 7. Number 8, cultivate gratitude. You will always have what you need. Like we were saying before, because life says yes. If I believe I don't have enough, I'm poor, I am this and I'm that, life says yes, yes, and that would be my experience. I know, easier said than done, I know, and this is when discipline and constant working on our mindset is important. But start cultivating gratitude. Make it something habitual to look for things to be grateful for. It could be even just, I'm grateful for this pen. It allows me to write what I'm thinking and put thoughts into paper. I'm grateful for this glass of water. You know, nowadays, there's still people dying for hunger. Literally. So we have a lot to be grateful for, really. And the thing is that because emotions are generators, emotions create. The more you generate an emotion, the more you fuel it, and the more it attracts the same. You see, and most of the people, you know why they have unlucky life? And I was one of them, because they are complaining all the time. I was one of them. People, look at people in general in the world. Because he didn't put a mask on, he didn't do this, and this doesn't work. And how do you expect life to be with you? Life is how it's inside of you. So stop that, move away from that and go, wow, I like this. I am here, nothing is happening, I am healthy. I have a glass of water in my hand. I'm connecting with you guys. This is a miracle. This is amazing. I'm feeling fantastic. It's true. I'm feeling great. And aren't you really? Step away from your thoughts and your mind and check into yourself and really ask yourself, what is a problem now? If you stop thinking of what you were thinking before, unless you're really in pain, physical pain, there is really nothing not to be grateful for, because we are here, we exist. Number 9, remember that others meet you mainly to be recognized. I repeat, remember that others meet you mainly to be recognized. You know, this seems silly in a way, but it's so important. And I mean, even when you go at the supermarket, please take even just a split of a second to look at who is at the till in the eye, or somebody in the street, and really look at them. Because if you look at them with presence, they can feel it. Maybe say hello to somebody, but truly, genuinely say hello and listen to people. You know, people feel depressed, and some people even commit suicide, all for one reason, because they're not seeing anymore and they feel isolated. Seriously, we know it. You know, what is the thing that nobody can stand? To be ignored. We all know it. You want to make somebody suffer and pay for whatever they've done, you blank them out. You know, this comes to my mind. I'm going to share it to you quickly because it's so important to keep in mind. I don't know if you know her, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. She's a psychologist or psychiatrist. She was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. She used to deal a lot with people that they were grieving people that died. And once I saw a video, she was sharing this story that she was talking to a mom that lost their child 1 or 2 days before because he shot himself. They were in America, and you know, they're in the house, they have weapons. So the boy was, I'm not sure, but something like 9 years old, okay? And Elizabeth asked the mom, what happened? And she said, oh, well, nothing much really. He came away back from school and he told us he didn't get a good grade. But nothing really happened. And Elizabeth went, but you know what, but tell me what's happened, literally, exactly. And mom and the lady say, okay, he came home from school and at dinner he told us that it got a bad grade. And the father decided that, didn't ask him why he got the bad grade or anything like that. He said to everybody, okay, now to punish him, nobody is allowed to look at him or speak to him while eating. So you can imagine there was like his or her brothers or sister and his parents. So parents and brothers or sisters were not allowed to look at 9 years old that was already feeling mortified for getting a bad grade. So can you imagine a 9 years old kid trying to eat when nobody next to you is looking at you? Okay, so they finish dinner and everybody goes to bed, and his mom, to make a point even more, she skipped his room before going to bed. She didn't go and knock on his door and wish him good night. Well, he felt so lonely that in the morning he got the gun and shot himself. This is just to say that, you know, feeling lonely and not seen, it's terrible. So anyway, and now more than ever that people feel really isolated, it's important to know that everybody, just all they really want people is to be seen, even just for a fraction of a second. So anyway, end point number 10, cultivate interest, something you love doing that satisfies you. I repeat, Cultivate interest, could be anything, or even many interests, but something that you love doing, that brings you joy while you do it. And they satisfy you. Maybe even something that at the end, you know, you're gonna build something, you're gonna make a puzzle, or you're gonna build something, or create a business, or a hobby. Does it make sense? Because that's also, I said, the base of well-being, you know, having a goal. When somebody is depressed, or even us, when we are in a bad mood, you know what's the best best way of getting out of it, depression, is to find something to do. To a depressed person, the first thing to do is to give them something to do, something to be looking forward to. It could be give them a plan to look after, or a hobby, or maybe do something for somebody else. Again, because when you are the source of well-being, of joy to somebody else, you receive. Okay. So I will leave you a copy of the well-being formula, and I highly recommend that you don't just read it, that you read it every day, at least once, 2-3 times a day. But it's not about reading it anyway, it's about applying it. So if you're applying each point, who knows? But I think you may well get, maybe you already have it, but you may get a more positive outlook in life. Chiara wrote another comment. She said, point number 4, have no expectations. Very difficult for me. Hey, it's not just for you, Chiara. To live without having expectations, it's not easy. You know, it's not easy. Like, it's easier said than done. But it's possible, you know. It is possible. And when you start doing things for the sake of doing them, in and on themselves, without any alter motives, without any expectations, then we start living. Then you will start living. I'm serious. Because we're not living if we do things only for the end goal. Think about it. But that's how we've been conditioned. We have been conditioned that it's important is the price at the end. You know, you may be suffering, but then you will have the gold medal. And I'm saying, banana to the gold medal. Who cares about the gold? You can keep your gold medal. I want to enjoy myself. Life is now. Life is now. Not when I get the gold medal. Who cares? Of course, if I do something that I love doing, and then who knows, if at the end I even get the gold medal, I personally say, who cares? You can keep it. But no, you can say, the ego could say, okay, go, great, thank you, a recognition, okay. But the soul, our essence thinks, I'm enjoying it. Is it enjoyable to be given a prize? I don't care. What do I do with a prize? I want to do. I want to create. I want to play. I want to do whatever brings me joy in the here and now. And if we do that, we are already in such a positive way that pretty much everything else, regardless to how other people may judge it, we may definitely accept it, embrace it, and react to it in a definitely positive and serene way. Guys, I think our time is up. I thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Chiara, for participating, and everybody else. And I'm going to see you next Thursday. Ciao. Have a good night. Ciao. Oh, ciao, Evelyn, as well. I know you couldn't write, but you were there. Ciao. Big kiss.